The member from Kitchener-Waterloo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Acting Premier. My office has been working with Jim Brown and his family since March to reunite him with his wife. They were separated when Colleen Brown was admitted to Sunnyside long-term care in February due to Alzheimer's diagnosis. Jim remains on a waiting list separated from his partner of 40 years. The waiting list for long-term care beds in Waterloo region alone is 2,600 people. And in order to get on the crisis list, Jim and his family have been told that they have to apply to many care facilities. If Jim was placed in a different home, it might even take longer to reunite the couple. Speaker, the family says that to live with your loved one is to live with dignity. Why doesn't this government believe that seniors in Ontario should be able to live in dignity?
Thank you. Deputy Premier.
Health and long-term care.
Chair of Health, Long-Term Care.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'd be happy to speak with the member opposite about this specific individual, this couple, because I think if she were to look behind her and to the left, there's an example in her caucus of a very collaborative relationship where a couple were faced with a similar challenge of reunification with regards to long-term care homes. And we were successful in resolving that. Mr. Speaker, it is regrettable and unfortunate and often unnecessary that couples should be split up when one of them requires long-term care and there's an effort being made to reunify. I'd be happy to work with the member opposite to resolve this, as I have on several other occasions, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
So I think the minister just said that I have to bring a question to the legislature in order to ensure that senior couples can actually spend time in a long-term care facility. Speaker, Jim's family
Order. Order. Finish, please.
Thank you very much. Speaker, Jim's family have tried contacting the Minister of Health, but they haven't received a response. The CCAC response was downright confusing. And over the last 14 years of this Liberal government, the waiting list for long-term beds in Ontario has grown to 25,000 people. And nothing in your budget will get those people into the care that they need. Today, Jim is on a crisis waiting list in Waterloo-Wellington region, but he and Colleen remain separated, and their family remains worried. They describe the situation as cruel. Speaker, can the Premier explain why this Liberal government doesn't have a plan to ensure that Ontario seniors get the long-term care that they need and that they deserve?
Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, just to clarify, I wasn't suggesting that the member opposite to get action needed to come to this legislature and talk about a situation. In fact, it was her decision to avoid speaking with me and to bring it here to the legislature and politicize it, Mr. Speaker. And many other people in this legislature, probably the majority, know that I work extremely hard in a collaborative way, no partisanship involved, to try to solve problems. And in this case, I want to try to solve this problem. But if she chooses to come here and make it political, that's her decision. But it doesn't detract, Mr. Speaker, from my efforts to try to resolve it. And we've increased, by the way, in the long-term care budget, in this budget that was delivered 2 weeks ago, Mr. Speaker, we're increasing the long-term care budget by 2% for the investment in that. We've created more than 10,000 more beds since coming into office, and we're redeveloping 30,000. I'm happy to work with her, whether she wants to work with me or not.